There is a ghost in Japan that moves faster than a car. She has no legs, and if you hear her, it's already too late. But here's the strangest part. This story might not be fiction. Japan has a very specific kind of ghost. Not something ancient, not from forgotten temples or distant mountains. This one is modern, urban. She lives in cities, she appears near train stations, and she moves, somehow, faster than anything that should be possible. Teke is a Japanese urban legend, often described as an onryo, a vengeful spirit. She has no lower body. From the waist down, there's nothing. She drags herself forward on her hands and elbows, and as she moves, she makes a sound. Teke, 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 teke. That sound is where the name comes from. And then there's the face. Because what most versions outside Japan get wrong is that she isn't screaming, she isn't distorted, she looks calm, almost happy, like she's just glad to see you. And that's what makes it worse, because she's fast. Some versions say up to 150 kilometers per hour. You don't run from something like that. You don't escape it. You just hear it getting closer. Teke, teke, teke. And when she catches you, she cuts your body in half at the waist, the same way she died. Now here's where the story starts to shift. The most common version centers on a woman in northern Japan, in Hokkaido. Her name in the story is Kashima Reiko. According to the legend, after World War II, she was attacked by an American military personnel in the city of Muroran. Later that night, in despair, she jumped from a bridge onto a railway track. An oncoming train severed her body in half, but she didn't die immediately. Because of the cold, the bleeding slowed, and according to the story, she crawled. She pulled herself toward the station platform, still alive, trying to reach help. A station worker eventually found her and covered her with a blue tarp. She died underneath it, slowly. 3 days after hearing her story, she comes for you. She appears in dreams, sometimes through a phone call. She asks 2 questions. Do you need your legs? The correct answer, I need them right now. Then she asks, who told you my story? Your answer, Kashima Reiko. Get it wrong or say nothing, and she takes your legs. Now here's the part most people don't know. Researchers try to verify the story. They searched railway records, police archives, local reports, and they found nothing. No record of the specific incident. No Kashima Reiko. But they did find something else. A real railway accident from 1935. Not in Hokkaido, but in Tokyo, on a Tobu railway line in Mukujima. So what likely happened is that the story didn't come from one person. It was assembled, misremembered, retold, moved across locations, changed slightly every time. Which means Teke isn't one ghost. She's a composite, a story built from multiple real events, multiple tracks, multiple deaths. And that matters, because it suggests something deeper, something that isn't supernatural at all. I don't know if teke is real or not. I've been riding the train here in Tokyo every single day, and I never encountered teke once. But what I know is real is the inspiration behind teke, and the inspiration might be much more darker than any yokai could ever be. Every culture builds stories around things it struggles to process. Plagues create demons, wars create monsters, and sometimes modern life creates something else. Because in Japan, for over a century, there has been a very specific kind of incident, one that happens on train tracks. Japan's first recorded railway incident involving a person occurred in 1876. Just 4 years after the country's first railway opened, and since then it has never really stopped. Even today, in cities like Tokyo, these incidents happen regularly. There is even a specific term used in announcements, Shinshin Chiku. It translates to human accident. but everyone knows what it actually means. If you've ever been on a train in Japan, you probably heard it. No explanation at first, then an announcement, delay to personal injury. People check their phones, they message work, running late, and then, after a while, the train moves again. Think about that for a second. Something serious happened right there on the tracks, and the system responds the same way every time. Delay, clean up, resume. No details, no discussion, just continuation. Over decades, generations of commuters have experienced this again and again until it becomes routine. And this is where some interpretations of the legend begin to emerge. What happens when something happens often enough, but is never fully processed, never talked about, never really seen? One way to understand teke is not as a literal ghost, but as a story shaped by repetition, by memory, by something people experience, but don't confront directly. In many versions of the legend, she isn't just violent, she was ignored, abandoned, left without help. And in the story, she comes back, not quietly, not invisibly, but loudly, relentlessly, forcing people to notice her. Teke. Living here in Japan, I experienced this myself. The train suddenly stops. Then an announcement occurs. The train is delayed due to a personal injury event. When I first arrived in Japan, I had no idea what it meant. But right now, while researching this video, I know better. And I know what it really means. So why trains? Why does this setting appear again and again? Part of it is simple. Trains in Japan are everywhere. They are precise, reliable, constant. They arrive exactly on time. They connect everything, and they are part of daily life for millions of people. That kind of system creates something unusual, predictability, certainty. And when something is always there, always on schedule, it becomes part of the background. But it also becomes a setting that appears again and again in stories. Because it's familiar, because everyone understands it, because everyone has stood on a platform at some point, waiting. There are also broader factors often discussed by researchers. High work pressure, financial stress, social expectations, difficulty seeking help for mental health. Japan even has a term, karoshi. It means death from overwork. These are complex issues, and they're not unique to one country, but in Japan they intersect with something highly visible, the train system. And so, over time, the platform becomes more than just infrastructure. It becomes part of storytelling, part of shared experience, and eventually part of urban legend. Of course, the issue isn't trains. The issue is societal. There's something deeply wrong with Japanese society. But instead of dealing with this, Japanese people invented a yokai, and this yokai became alive. There's something the teke story captures extremely well. She doesn't stop. She keeps moving. She keeps searching. She keeps making that sound. Teke. In some versions, there are small rules, places she can't go, ways to answer her questions. But none of it really changes the outcome, because the story isn't really about escaping her. It's about why she exists in the first place. Even today, new versions of teke still appear. Different cities, different details, some core idea, a figure on the tracks, a sound you can't ignore, something that refuses to disappear. And maybe that's why the story persists, because it asks a question, not directly, but quietly, in the background. What are people choosing not to see? Teke. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to press like. Also subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content just like this. I'm still a very small channel. I only have 200 subscribers right now. So every subscriber counts. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers, so please help me out. There's also a link to my Patreon in the description. So if you feel like supporting this channel, please do so. It helps me out with making these videos. Other than that, see you in the next video. Bye.